Hello, beach friends. We have hit the road and we are going to be exploring the Florida Keys. We will be saying hi to some live sea turtles and I'll give you some tips on how to help them. We'll travel down the Keys to Bahia State Park. It's absolutely beautiful. And we're going to snorkel and say hi to a gorgeous critter I was hoping to meet. We're also going to take in a Florida Keys sunset. I really do have lots to share, so if you're ready, let's go to the Keys. Some husbands might bring their wives flowers. Mine brings me hermit crabs, and I couldn't be happier. So this is just a normal little crab that was out and about. It is not a marine hermit crab. There are different kinds of them. So this is a little land crab. My husband just brought him over so I could say hi and play with him for a little bit, and then I let this little crab go on its way. So one of the things I did want to do when traveling to the Keys here was do some snorkeling and see just what kind of stuff I could find. This is, for me, full transparency, a little intimidating. This is not what I am used to. I am typically, as you know, on the west coast of Florida, where it's very calm, very soft sand. Here in the Keys, you don't really get the beaches like you do in Miami or Sanibel. So let's take a peek at what the Keys is. So it's really just a dotted bunch of islands on the south end of Florida. Where we are right now is right about there. We're at a beach called Ann's Beach. It did look like somewhere where there would be access and I would be able to get into the water and do some of that snorkeling. Right here, the tide is a little high. And again, I'm not feeling real safe. So I didn't want to go in the water there. And I figured, oh, well, we're here. Let's explore it a little bit. So this is called Ann's Beach. It actually is really pretty. The parking was free. You could hang out there. But again, I'm looking to do some snorkeling. So we are traveling south again. And there's so many awesome little places you can kind of just pull over and take a look at the beauty around you. And here we are. I am here at Bahia State Park. And this is where I've decided I'm going to kind of start my snorkeling experience. Like I said, I was a little intimidated by the water. I did pull over quite a few times to kind of look at the water, and it just didn't look like anything that looked conducive for safe snorkeling. So I decided to go here. This did look safe to me. Perfectly safe state park. I'm out in the water, about to go snorkeling, and just kind of see what I can find. I was hoping for a seashell or two. I do know that this is not the place to go for seashells. I did know that. But I figured while I was here, I definitely wanted to at least give it a try. Plus, if you're snorkeling, sometimes you can see critters. So that was what I'm looking to do. So here in the sand, again, a little this, a little that. Visibility is okay. But I'm looking to get over to the grasses because that is where I think the queen conchs, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I am looking for a queen conch, and my understanding is they hang out by those grasses. So we will get over there. I'm going to show you in a little bit an overhead view of where we are now. You'll notice there is sand and now there's grass. And I'm going to show you what that looks like from above. So the grasses is where I think that those queens are going to be. And again, I've never done this and I've never gone looking for the queens, but I had an idea that they're going to look like the sand. They're going to be hiding. And again, I was just hoping maybe just to say hi to one of the critters while I was here. So there was a couple fish, which was kind of cool. Any kind of sea life, I was really happy to see. A little bit deeper here. So I am looking for those, again, looking for those queen conchs. Visibility was okay. I mean, you could see. But at this point, the water is pretty deep. And I mean, I would really have to dive down. Looks like I saw something. Okay, a little bit of a crash landing. I'm fine. It's just the way that the camera was. And what did I get? Oh, awesome. A really beat up clam of some sort. Okay, but you know what? It is a shell. So put that in my pocket, and I'm still scouring to see if there's Anything else? What do we got? Oh, okay. Here's a little broken piece of something. All right. It's elongated of sorts. It's missing a top, and really it's missing most of its shell, but okay, it's something, right? And you can see my hands are wrinkly. So I've been in here for a while, and this beach angel walks over and she goes, "Do you want to see what I found?" And I said, "Yes, yes, I do want to see what you found." So she found a beautiful queen conch. So this is a juvenile, and that beautiful pink color on the inside. So these are very, very protected. You do not want to even consider taking one of these from the beach. It would absolutely have to be dead. I mean, you cannot take these live. And I'm kind of explaining the critter, the little eye stalks on the inside. You can see that little hook on the end. That's the operculum. And I'm just marveling over this beautiful creature. Well, I didn't get to find it, but at least we got to say hi. So I explained it should be put back. And so the beach angel that brought it over to me did go put that back. And it looks like I scored another shell. Here we have a cross-barred Venus clam. Okay. One of the more common shells that I find all the time. But again, on days like this when there's not much around, I'm always kind of happy just to find any kind of shell. So this is Bahia Honda State Park. It's really pretty with the bridges kind of on one side. That's the overseas highway there. And then behind us is obviously the out of commission railroad bridge. Now, I was so excited when I got here. I just kind of ran into the water. So let's take a look at what's not here. Because I was going to say what's here. There's not a lot. There's a little bit of grasses and a little bit of this and that, but there's not seashells. So if you come here, it's going to be beautiful. You could absolutely see creatures. You're probably not going to find any shells. So now we're going to walk up onto the top of that other bridge and take a peek down. This is the Atlantic side, the side where I was snorkeling. I guess technically it was more the Gulf side, even though nothing's really separating it at that point. So the water is so pretty. And making my, it's not a long walk. He kept to the top of this bridge, and now I'm going to look down at where we were. Now, the very light blue color, that is the sand, and then the darker color, that's the grass. So that is the difference between that light color and the dark color. The water's fine. The water is the same. It's just what is on the bottom is either sand, where it's nice and light, or the grass, where it gets a little bit darker. But boy, what a pretty park. And they did have signs posted. There's your queen conch. It is protected. And the Bahama Sea Star, which I did not know. So see, I didn't feel comfortable snorkeling over there. And so this is the haul. My one clam broke. So a little broken piece. I mean, I didn't bring anything home. I didn't expect to. It is what it is. I was happy that at least I got to see that queen conch. So that was pretty cool. And then when I'm looking out here, I don't know. Maybe if I came a couple more times, I'd feel a little more comfortable. But there was other things I wanted to do. I really wanted to go see sea turtles. So we went over to the turtle hospital over on Marathon. Fun history of this place. It was purchased by a gentleman as a motel, and it eventually became a hospital. If you ever come here or take a peek at the website, it kind of gives you the information. It's a really cool place. This is also very popular. So they do have timed tours. So they have a couple of tours a day. I do recommend you reserve your spot so it'll make it a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. You can kind of just show up and go on your tour. Now, before you get to go see the turtles, you do get an explanation of the purpose of the hospital and the types of rescues that they perform. Now, at this point in the presentation, we are learning about something called bubble butt. I'm not kidding, bubble butt, and I'm going to show that to you. Turtle organs are very sensitive and delicate, and if they are hit by a boat, there's gases that release and they get stuck under the turtle's shell. So the turtle cannot submerge itself naturally, and it tends to make it float more than normal. And again, I will show you that. This is a working hospital, so we did get to see some of the different facilities and medical equipment that they have here before we actually went out to see the turtles. But actually, that's really what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the turtles. Look at this little cutie. So there's only 7 types of sea turtles. I did not know that. This is a Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. It is one of those 7. And this one's a little different because it gets a little bit lighter as it gets older. So it was a beautiful little turtle. So most of the turtles here, I would say majority of the turtles here are going to be rehabilitated. Now, this one, let's talk about. Okay, so this turtle, you can see it's floating normally. They're on the bottom of the water. They come up to get air and then they go back down. You'll notice that this one just keeps floating because it has been hit, it has been injured, and it has that gas that's kind of trapped in its shell. So it's okay. It's not going to be released into the wild. It's going to be one of the permanent residents here. And what they do is they try to offset the gases that are stuck in the turtle shell with weights. So they'll put weights onto the turtle shell. So this is the same turtle we just saw, and you can see that it is comfortably resting as it should be underwater because of those weights, which is kind of cool. Another reason that turtles are rescued is because they're cold stunned. So if we get a cold snap down here, a lot of the turtles will probably be showing up at the turtle hospital. Now, right now we are headed down to Turtle Town, as they call it. And we have a whole bunch of the loggerhead turtles that will be, well, actually there's a couple green turtles too. And then there are invasive iguanas here, lots of critters like Florida, including iguanas. A lot of iguanas are invasive, which is a little bit of a bummer, but on the other hand, I really can't blame them. It's pretty gorgeous here. So anyhow, we're making our way down to Turtle Town. This is a picture of one of the turtles when it was received and it was a little bit ill, and it is recovering, and then it will be released out into the wild. So this is a green turtle. It is tagged that's what the woman is pointing at. And this particular really fun, active turtle was just so friendly and kept coming up. I mean, obviously you don't want to touch them. You don't want them to be really comfortable with humans, because on the whole, we're not good for them, although these people obviously are helping them. So this is a little green sea turtle that I honestly could have stayed here for a couple of hours just watching. So entertaining, and to be so close. Oh, it was really, really cool. So I definitely recommend, if you're in the area. I know, Keys isn't exactly close to many people, but if you have the opportunity to come here and you want to help these animals and see them up really close, head on over to the Turtle Hospital over on Marathon. So we are going to see a bunch more. Here we are, we're at Turtle Town. Now, some of the turtles are kind of separated. They don't play nice. Not everybody plays nice in the turtle pool, I guess. So they all kind of hang out here in Turtle Town. Now, some of these will be rehabilitated and some of these are permanent residents. Now, you will notice that condition I was talking about earlier, bubble butt. You will see that that is happened to a lot of these turtles. They have been struck by boats, and so they have those gases that are just trapped under its shell, and it makes them float. Now, it's dangerous for them to be floating. They are more susceptible to predators, boat strikes. Turtles are supposed to be submerged. They're only supposed to be on the surface if they're breathing. So some of these critters will be here permanently. And let's talk a little bit how you can help these guys. Now, you could, if you lived in Florida, buy one of the Help a Turtle license plates. You could adopt a turtle. Or, as we've been kind of talking about, you can be on the lookout for sick or compromised turtles. So if you saw a sea turtle that could not submerge itself, it seemed to be compromised or struggling in any way, do reach out to the Wildlife Assistance Alert Hotline. I've actually put this in my phone, so just in case I saw a critter that needed help, I could give them a call, make sure that the turtle got the assistance it needed. Now, one of the other things that I liked about this tour was that you got to feed the turtles. Now, I wasn't really sure what that was like, if I was going to be able to hand them lettuce or what that was going to be like, because they are vegetarians. And it turns out you're really just kind of tossing them some chowder. So you're kind of just putting some of those dry pellets into the water. Now, let's talk about the conservation status, or what is the status of sea turtles? Well, the conservation status of sea turtles, that really just kind of depends on where you look, but most organizations agree worldwide that the sea turtle species are endangered, threatened, or vulnerable. So the work that this hospital is doing is so important. And I was really happy that I could come by, because the cost that you pay for your ticket to come see these wonderful turtles does help support them. Now, another reason turtles might show up here is that they were disoriented. And that is why During turtle season, which is April through October, you don't want to use white lights on the beach. So these are some baby sea turtles that had been disoriented at some point, and so they are going to make their way over to the hospital, and once they are well enough, they're nice and stable, they will be released back out into the wild. And I believe it's one of the statistics, 1 out of 1,000 sea turtles makes it to adulthood. So these guys, they really got their work cut out for them. Now, this turtle here had a run-in with a shark. So it is one of the predators of the sea turtles. That is a green sea turtle. It did have a little mark on its shell, but it looks like it is going to survive to tell the story. So another lastly thing that you can do to support the organization is after your tour, if you wanted to buy something at the gift shop, that does also help the turtles. So overall, I really enjoyed my tour there, learning about the turtles, but it is time to relocate. We're going to head up to Key Largo and see some chickens. Now, Key West is known for the chickens, and so it's not completely weird that I'd show up somewhere in the Keys and there would be chickens, but all the way up in Key Largo, okay, works for me because I happen to love those chickens in Key West. So anyway, we are here in Key Largo because I wanted to take in a sunset. And it's kind of fun in the Keys because you can kind of walk to one side of the street and watch the sun come up, and walk to the other side of the street and watch the sun set. Now we're going to get a little bit of a treat because there was a storm going on in the background. Now normally I give you beach time, but today we're going to have sunset time. And I really was thrilled that there had that storm out in the distance so you can see the sunset and lightning and this beautiful clouds. And I'm going to give you a big sunset tip. The show doesn't really start until well after the sun has gone down. The sky really starts to light up and glow. And again, with that storm in the background, man, it was so pretty. So that was the one sunset that we caught. Just beautiful. And don't forget, give it a minute. After the sun goes down, give it a minute, because that's when it starts getting really pretty. All right, we're on our way. One last little trip. All right, I have a couple more things to show you. We did want to make our way down to Key West, so we're going to make our way down there. And you might be wondering, like, what does it look like in the Keys? Well, it looks kind of normal. It's kind of like a 1 or 2 lane road, one going north and one coming south. And then you have, sometimes you have businesses on the left or right, and then other times you're only going to have the water. So it really just depends, because as you go from landmass to landmass, they're connected by either bridges or these other little strips of road. So sometimes you'll be able to see things, the water, on the left or the right. On this shot right here, we're on the 7 Mile Bridge. There is a bridge that is literally 7 miles long. That is a Marine Science Center that is on Pigeon Key. And then I wanted to show you this tree is, I don't know if it's called famous or not, but it actually has a name. There is this tree on the bridge and its name is Fred. So I wanted to introduce you to Fred the tree. So we're making our way south, admiring really the beautiful views, and we made a very, very quick stop at the Key West Tropical Forest and Botanical Garden. And I just wanted to show you these really cool palm trees. I like palm trees anyway. Since I moved to Florida, I've only lived here about a little over 3 years, and I'm just enamored with them. So to come here and see these other palm trees that I've never seen before was really quite cool. So they are native to Cuba. Really cool palm trees. And so we're going to head into Key West proper, do a couple of sightseeing things. Chickens will be a part of our tour because I just adore them. So if you ever go to Key West, you will just find random chickens running all over the place. This, where we are right now, this is the Key West Historic Memorial Sculpture Garden. And Key West is actually a really cool city. It's older. It's got a lot of history. There's an Ernest Hemingway houses here. The Pan Am building where the first international flight took off. So just a lot of interesting things to do. I, of course, wanted to hang out with the chickens. I'm not going to do it all day, but they had the little babies running around and it's just kind of cracked me up. Yep, it's all about the critters. Now, these are adult queen conchs. So that juvenile live creature that we found, this is what the adults grow into. The shell, you can tell that the shell has been cut. It probably was just broken in certain areas, so they wanted to make it a little bit prettier. And that's kind of the problem. And the reason that we need to protect that species is because people collect them for their shells. Now, I like to ethically collect shells. I only keep the stuff that I actually found so that I know all is well. And that is a lightning whelk. And I know that because the aperture, the opening, is on the left. So I have some of those Florida horse conchs here, some of those lightning whelks, and some shells that are not native to Florida. So the queen conchs, which we do not get in Southwest Florida, you get them here in the Keys, and oh, so pretty. But it just, just makes me scared for the creature when there's just so many of those shells in the store. And then same with these guys. I don't purchase anything from shell stores because I don't know where it came from, and I don't want to support any kind of unethical shelling. So again, it's just kind of how I roll. Now, Key West does have a little beach, and so I had to come check it out because it's a beach. And again, I figure there probably won't be shells, but heck, I need to go find out for myself. So this is another little beach, totally different than the beaches, again, that I am used to over here in Southwest Florida. We've got a little bit of stony-like material, very rock, very hard and dense. And again, we have that beautiful blue color and a little bit of that dark color as well. So I did meander around. It's pretty shallow for the most part, very clear. So I can see that there's nothing, I mean, nothing to pick up. A little bit of seagrass, and that's about it. It really is pretty. I wouldn't say don't go. It's nice, clear, probably would be fun to snorkel around for a little while, but typically I am looking for seashells. Now there was some of those grasses here, but I just decided I was not going to put on the whole regalia and do snorkeling. So I just kind of moseyed on over, took a little peek, and kind of kept it moving. So it's nice to know, even though, there's no seashells here. And again, the Keys does not have a lot of beaches. If you did come to Key West, there is a place where you could frolic around in the water. You're not going to find seashells, but it is a little sandy spit that you can go and enjoy the water. Parking was free, so that was another kind of bonus. Most of the other places in Key West, pretty hard to find parking, but parking was free over here at the beach. And then to show you that here's the only stuff I was able to find, and it really was like rocks, or I don't know if it's concrete or if it's actually like pieces of coral, but it wasn't overly interesting to me, so I did not bother collecting any of those little hunks. I did see this is a jellyfish that is a moon jelly. So I did see a moon jelly, poor critter, and that's about it. So again, very different. The beaches here in Key West, gorgeous, beautiful view, definitely go visit. But if you're gonna look for seashells, Key West is probably not the place to go. So here's Bahia Honda State Park again. You can kind of see it from the Overseas Parkway. And while I don't purchase things from shell shops, I do like to go in and look at the shells. So here's an egg cowrie. I'd never even heard of an egg cowrie. Really cool. So I do like to go in and admire them, pick them up, see if I recognize it, if it's something that I know what it is. Is it, natural, or is it normally found in Florida? Is it a different kind of shell? Here's crown conchs. I do find these. Hi, friend. And so I do notice that, hey, that is not a crown conch, that is a hawkwing, but pretty cool. So, it's just kind of fun for me to go and kind of look at these. This is weird. These are apple murex shells, but they're like massive, massive murexes. I don't find them that big. So that just makes me a little suspect. That's a fun little shell too. Maybe a triton of some sort. Suspect in the sense that I seriously doubt that these were ethically collected. So I'll go in, I'll look. There's a spider conch. I think there was a giant eastern murex. Some cool cones, the nautilus. So again, like to look, but I do all my shelling myself, or I do some exchanges. But they are pretty to look at. Hi, Florida Fighting Cock. Hey, buddy. All right, so those are the shells that I have quite an affinity for. And it is, like I said, it is fun just to kind of, poke around looking at the shells. Now, these shells are queen conchs, like the ones we had seen down in Key West, but these you'll notice they have slits in them. Those slits are created by people who find the live animal, give it a whack with a machete or something sharp to remove the live animal to fry it up and eat. So that is why this says that these slipback conchs are a part of the food industry. Now, I don't know if I necessarily call it the food industry or if it's more of a tourism kind of thing. So just please keep it in mind. If you have the opportunity to purchase shells, try to do it ethically if you can. Me and many other little mollusks will thank you in advance. So that was our trip to the Keys. I know it was totally different than we normally do. Next week, we're going back to normal. We're going to Tiger Tail Beach. So thank you so very much for coming along. I hope you enjoyed, especially the turtle part of it. I thought that was really cool, learning about the turtles and getting to see them so up close. Patreons, thank you for monetarily supporting me. I appreciate you more than I can say. So everybody, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you enjoyed some of the things we got to see in the Keys, and I will see you again next Sunday.